because my thing just said your microphone's not working. So,
All right, we're live.
okay.
Okay, so this week we're working in Module 7 about the ISTE standards and digital citizenship, and Nicole is giving her lesson. So we can start out by answering the question, how do you plan on incorporating the concepts from the ISTE standards and the digital citizenship into our future classrooms? Does anybody want to start?
I can start.
Okay.
So when I read through all the standards, I thought that a lot of these, especially the technology and the collaborating, especially with the digital citizenship license, was so relevant for where we are today and where things are going in the future, that it'll definitely be something that I hope every teacher will talk about with their students. And I from the third standard, what I liked a lot was collaborating with students, peers, parents, and community members using digital tools and resources to support student success and innovations. So at the school I work at, a lot of stuff is going towards technology. We have Chromebooks. That's what the kids work on. They use Google Classroom. They use email. They use Google Docs. Everything is technology based, and what students have to do in the beginning of the school year is kind of take like what we did, a course that shows them what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, how to protect yourself, your identity, other people that you're dealing with. And I think it's something that is very, like I said in the beginning, relevant for now and even more into the future. So that's what I will definitely take the time to talk to my students and use all those safety boundaries and communicate with parents through any way possible, just to keep that collaboration and that openness with the relationship so students can be successful and really hopefully do really well.
Okay, I can go, I guess.
Okay.
So I noticed in the standards there's a couple of big things, like providing the students with the authentic digital learning experience. We talk about that all the time with the UDL principles and stuff, but so that they talked about in a way so students can be responsible for their own learning in a sense, and then they can also reflect upon their own experiences. And it's important to explain to students why they're doing something, because if they're just doing it to do it, that's not, I guess it's not fun either. And especially with technology, it's so easy to get sidetracked or misuse it, I guess. In the kindergarten classroom that I'm in, they use iPads, and there's a ton of apps on the iPad, but they're directed to only use one, and they use it during their group work, so the teacher's not around to monitor every group, but every once in a while, they'll tap on other apps on there and start getting sidetracked. And so I think it's important to say like why we're using this app and what that will help us with, so that they can understand what they're doing, and like how to properly use it. Another thing that I noticed was, like Nicole said, the collaboration among parents and colleagues and the community. And I think that it's important not to take for granted that even though we live in this digital age, not everybody has access to technology or knows how to use it. So it's still important to teach others how to use this technology in a safe way, and And also, the other way, as the teacher, it's important to do your background research about all this technology, because you don't want to be teaching the wrong thing or teach something and not really know what you're talking about. And I thought that went along with the digital citizenship website, that just like we need to know what kind of technology and material on the internet is appropriate for our students, and we need to know that, and they need to know that for when they're on the computer, because that's very important as well. And then when I was looking through the ISTE website, there was this article about like how to bring that technology into your classroom, and if it's new to you, or the classroom's new to you. And like flipping the classroom, they suggest that you start small, like maybe just 1 or 2 lessons, starting with technology, something easy that you can bring into your classroom that's not overwhelming, like creating a blog for collaboration and talking, or online presentations like PowerPoint or Prezi, and like all the stuff that we've seen in like the UDL toolkit. All those tools are very helpful. And I also noted about the Google Docs, and in the article she said that all those Google programs, Google Docs, Google Sheets, is great for collaboration. And in the article she said to be prepared, make sure you like play around with your online tools first, explore it, but just to know that, I mean, more than likely a student is going to find something on the app or the program that you didn't notice before, because you're just going to be exploring it. So just be prepared for that. And yeah, so I found all these tips helpful in when I'm going into my classroom the first time and not really knowing all about that stuff. So yeah.
Can I add another little thing really quick? I explored on the website like a couple of different things, and 2 things that I thought were pretty cool was there was 3 ways to increase students' engagement, and it kind of gave tips on how to use technology and keep students engaged in what they're learning, and how it will help them, not only them but the teacher, to make an assignment maybe a little bit easier. The retention, the comprehension may also stick a little bit more. And the other article that I read was engaging lesson plans that will keep your students wanting to be at school, wanting to keep learning and keep coming back for more. And it was something as simple as rearranging the classroom, having like a couch or a beanbag where kids can read, or do an assignment that may be difficult, and lots of different projects, different websites, ways that you can incorporate technology and to help them to become more wanting of education, if that makes sense. So, okay, I'm done.
So for me, it was, I really latched on to the first standard, where it talks about inspiring the student learning and creativity, and specifically where it talks about promoting student learning through collaboration and using collaborative tools to help clarify students' understanding, as well as thinking and planning and being creative with the material. So I think, at least for me, a lot of times I don't see digital programs as literacy very often. It's, to me, more of like, hey, okay, we're going to watch a cool video that goes along with our lesson versus this is the lesson. So I really, when I was reading the part D of that, where it talks about model collaborative knowledge construction and engaging with students and colleagues in face-to-face or virtual, I was thinking back to when I was younger, and we used to do the talks with the astronauts on the space station, the International Space Station, and you'd like log in and you'd see them and you could ask them questions and things. And so to me, it really kind of made that connection, and I was like, oh, well, you could take, digital field trips and that kind of stuff and reach out to people in your community who may not be able to come to your class, but you could, take things either that the kids are interested in or that you're interested in and, kind of build your own knowledge and whatnot. And the students can see you asking questions and clarifying things, kind of like it also made me think of 440 when we're reading all of those comprehension strategies, and it was talking about the think alouds. So clarifying, so if I wanted to do this, then I have to do, you know what I mean? And just kind of thinking through all the information live instead of just, okay, play the video, now we're going to talk about it. And I think it's the same too. Again, another experience I had in first grade, my teacher played for us a series. It was called The Voyage of the Mimi. It was a long, long time ago, and it was Ben Affleck when he was 9. But it had short little episodes that were really exciting. It was super dramatic, and they were on this whale watching ship. But there was always a science lesson as part of it, and that explained some of what happened in the episode. So you had this episode, and then it was, I don't know if you remember Magic School Bus, they kind of did the same thing where they explained the science behind the episode. Mm-hmm. And it was every week that was our really exciting segment. So kind of those kind of lessons where it draws it out and really is engaging because you're looking forward to it and you talk about it all week, I thought that was an old school version of the same idea, and really engaging, and we had to talk about it. We had to come up with ideas of how we would have solved the problem and, incorporate all of those new science terms that we learned. So it kind of made those connections for me and made me re-look at digital as literacy, because a lot of times I look at it as the distraction for my kids instead of a learning tool. So. I can't hear you, Emmylou. Can you unplug your headset? No. Is the volume on your... I don't know if it ever affects anything.
Are you in the library? Because I'm in the library too. I'm in the back corner if you want to come over here. I'll stand up so you can see.
Yeah, I can half hear you.
Yeah.
I don't.
I know. Okay.
Yay!
Oh, never a dull moment in the chats.
Of course not. That would be too easy.
That's right. Oh.
We're walking. We're walking. A day in the life of Emmylou Lopez.
Yay!
Sorry. Okay, I'm just gonna X out mine then.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
All good.
I don't know what was going on. I was doing everything the same as I usually do. Anyway, I thought you guys wouldn't be able to hear me because I was like, wait, I don't think they can hear me, and I was trying to say something.
Anyway, so for
It's okay.
what I when I read the ITSE, it made me think of when I work in this classroom, and it was actually just recently, like a week ago, this little kid put they all got iPad time, and so they are only allowed to use one app on the iPad, and it's like a game thing, and it's while they're at station, so it was their turn for the iPad. And he entered his name as like cigarettes and guns or something. And the teacher didn't know. And then another student came up and told her. And so she took away his privilege for the week for iPads and said that she was going to tell his mom. And it was just really interesting because it was like all this technology, everything we were reading in the ITSE, and then in that assignment that we did for the driver's license thing. Just how crazy technology is and how everything you're doing is being seen and can be seen. And then to see this third grader do that, I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And yeah, that's just like what I kept thinking of, and just how teachers have to monitor and be aware, and then be aware of what your apps can do and all the different things. And then that was like the big thing that I took out of it, just all the technology. And then it had what you were talking about, the dual, or maybe it was Nicole, the dual citizenship thing. That was really interesting. Anyway, that's what I got out of all the readings. So, yeah.
Good. Okay. Nicole, would you like to begin your lesson?
Yep. All right, here we go. Okay, did everybody get my folder?
Yes.
Yes. I thought it would just be easier to load everything than sending 3 different things. So I know you probably got it and thought, geez, what is she doing? But no.
It freaked me out at first because I thought it was some like assignment for our group that I hadn't seen. I was like,
oh no. Me too. And then I saw the PowerPoint and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, was I supposed to do something?
Sorry.
It was awesome.
Okay, so, like I know, like don't be too scared. It's just me trying to condense for everybody. So I have about 50 folders everywhere in Google Docs. So yeah. Okay, so in a perfect world, I would have a smart board behind me with my, awesome PowerPoint up. So for today, I have 2. My daughter helped me make these posters. So today we're going to talk about decomposing fractions, and our goal by the end of the lesson will be that everybody pretty much understands what decomposing fractions means. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, what the heck? What is she talking about? So decomposing fractions is, when you think of decomposing, what do you guys think of?
dead bodies.
Dead bodies. Good. Anybody else?
I guess I think of breaking down.
Breaking down. Perfect. Both are fantastic answers. We're going to go with Emmy Lou's. Exactly. Decomposing, breaking down. So when we're decomposing fractions, we're looking at breaking it down into a little bit smaller chunks so we can see exactly how fractions look formed, how we can add them, subtract them later on. And yeah, so we'll start by reviewing a little bit of review of what fractions are. So we have the fraction 1/2. So on my slide, I have the fraction 1/2, and 1 is the numerator. You guys remember the numerator?
Mm-hmm.
Goes on top or bottom?
Top.
And the bottom number, does anybody remember what that's called?
Denominator.
Excellent. You guys are so smart. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to look at how we can decompose fractions. So here we have the fraction 4/9. You can see we have 4 sections, 4 out of the 9 are shaded. So we can look at how we can break this up. So we can have 2 and 2 to make 4. Does everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I also have an example of a pie chart, the circles that we can use to also show the same way. So we have we're looking to get the fraction 4/4 or a whole. We can break it up 3 1/4 to equal to 4/4. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so in the next slide, I talk about more of a real life situation. And we have a picture of a pizza and how many slices, how can we figure out how many slices we need with pizza? So I'm going to go around the table and ask everybody in my family, how many do you want? Dad says I want this many. Daughter says this many. Mom, son. So now I know, okay, Dad wants 2. So I have 2. Mom wants 1. Daughter wants 1. Son wants 2. So I have a total of 6 slices. So I know that I need 6 slices, and I can do that. And on the slide it has the breakdown of the fractions and how it all comes together. Okay. So now we're going to look at practicing some problems. So I have everybody on their desk in their groups has a whiteboard and a marker, and we also have some math cubes. So the math cubes, if you're having a hard time understanding exactly how to decompose the fractions, the math cubes can be very helpful. So our first problem is 6/9. Everybody see that?
Yes.
Backwards. So what we can do is we have all of the red cubes. We have 9 of them. So each one of these represents 1/9. Does everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay. So our first problem is 6/9. So I'm going to count out 6. And can anybody give me a way that we can break this up? Break up the 6?
1 and 5.
Perfect. 1 and 5. So if I have 1/9 and 5/9, am I still going to get 6/9 at the end?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. Perfect. You guys are excellent students. Can anybody give me one more way that we might be able to break this up?
3 and 3.
3 and 3. Perfect. Even. So if we have 3/9, 3/9. We're still going to get 6/9 at the end?
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's where I would go through. I have 3 more example problems, and I would have the kids work them, and then on the whiteboard write how they got, have them draw a picture or use the math blocks and then hold up whatever they have. So that would be kind of how we did the guided practice together. So now that we're done with the practice, I'm going to hand out a worksheet to everybody. This is a worksheet that you will do independently on your own because I kind of want to see what you know by yourself. So if you need to use your whiteboard and marker to draw it out first, I'm perfectly okay with that. And please use the math blocks if they help you the most. So I would give the kids time to work on this, get it completed, and this would also be my assessment, my formative assessment. Informal, during this time I'd be walking around the class, making sure, asking those kids that I see struggling if they would, need a little bit more guidance, a little bit more help. Collect the worksheets at the end to kind of see where I'm at, if my instruction is making sense, what I need to do, do I need to review this, tweak the lesson to see what might work a little bit better the next time around. So that's it. That was fast.
Awesome.
Sorry. When I get nervous, I talk really fast, so my apologies.
It's
No
okay.
Good
worries.
job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Well, it looks like we're done.
Yay.
Yay! So, Nicole, you're the note taker?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. Okay, and do this again next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Are we still gonna do this on group, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're all staying.
Okay.
Yes.
And then I think well, we're all done with lessons now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
For now.
Yeah.
Yeah, for now.
On this topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the educational part, so we'll see what the next section brings.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Guys.
All right.
I
See you guys
will.
next week.
I will post the link to the video in the notes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you.
Thanks.
Okay, great.
Okay,
Thanks. See you guys.
Bye.